National Sports Centre in Newcastle for round 10 of the Phillips Soccer League of Australia. Brisbane City have overcome the problems of the airline strike and have made their way down for the all-important clash with the Newcastle KB Raiders. Both teams are affected by players on representative duty for yesterday's World Cup elimination match between Australia and New Zealand in Auckland yesterday. Brisbane City, of course, are on 11 points, just 4 points off the pace of the front-runners South Melbourne, and Newcastle United, in fact, just 1 point behind Brisbane City. So it's an all-important clash for both sides if they're going to stay in the championship race for this year's title. So now to the middle of the International Sports Centre, to the two teams for today's game. Well, the Newcastle KB Raiders will be without midfielder Steve Sumner, who scored New Zealand's last goal in Auckland against the Socceroos yesterday. St Kalski reverts to midfield to join David Jones and Craig Mason, and this allows for the PSL debut for the gangly Alf Stamp, a crowd favourite from the youth team. It's an important debut match for Stamp, but more importantly for the KB Raiders. Brisbane City will be without Socceroo defender Steve Perry, but still boast a talented lineup, with their main strength appearing to be up front with Wilkinson, Palinkas and Kelso. Barry Kelso is one of the tallest strikers in the league. He's a potential danger man to KB's defence that conceded 4 goals in its last outing against Adelaide City. And the referee for today's fixture, Mr Tony Boscovich, the man that officiated in the World Cup finals at 74. And so the Brisbane City Gladiators will defend the goal to our right. Newcastle United in their familiar strip of the gold with the red and black trim, and the first throw of the match will come just 11 seconds into this first half. It's Paul Reedy finding Bob Mountford, who's been battling a hamstring injury right through this week. It will be interesting to know whether he is in fact 100% fit. Big Alf Stamp gets his first flick onto the game. David Kamash on the right wing today for United. And that gives Martin Coe, the former St George keeper, his first touch of the match. Thrown out for Caldwell. That's Barry Kelso. Back comes Drinkwater, putting Dando under immense pressure on that occasion. And now it's Arno Batonia pushing forward for Newcastle United. Played forward for Stamp. Batonia. That's Mountford, closed down by the number 2, Jimmy Dunn. David Jones. On for Mountford. Tredenick. Headed away that time by the number 14, Bobby Hamilton. Now St Kalski. Cleared away by Ratcliffe. Not a good clearance. Bobby Mountford heads it on, and finally cleared away by the number 17, Billy Wilkinson. The Kamash went up, and the free kick goes against the number 14, Bobby Hamilton. So from the free kick, it's St Kalski. Played down the line for Kamash, but back came Barry Kelso, and goal kick to Brisbane City. So manager of Brisbane City, George Potter, eagerly watching the first 3 minutes of this match. United have returned home after a drubbing last weekend at the hands of Adelaide City, although their last home appearance, they defeated Preston by 4 goals to 0. Now David Kamash, played into the middle from Mountford. Now out on the right for St Kalski. St Kalski working hard in midfield. Knock square for Drinkwater, who came forward. Played out for Alf Stamp. Couldn't really bring the ball under control, but showed some great skill. And finally lost possession. As I mentioned, certainly a favourite for this home crowd, although this is in fact his first full PSL debut. He came on as a substitute against Preston. Drinkwater heading it back for goalkeeper Dando. Stamp putting pressure on Martin Coe. Well, a lot will depend on how that man in picture, Alf Stamp, handles this first game in the top grade. But don't be deceived, he's already reached international level for New Zealand, so he's no newcomer to top-class football. Kamash. Headed away by Ratcliffe. Sitkowski. Shot, and that's just over the top. Well, let's just look at the composure there of Joe Sitkowski, with Ratcliffe heading the ball away. Sitkowski really brought the ball under control. And very cool shot, but unfortunately just above that crossbar and not extending the goalkeeper, Martin Coe. So we've had just on 9 minutes of play in this first half. Still no score. Barry Kelso with a decided height advantage, but nullified that time by a great leap by Paul Reaney. Kelso in possession. Couldn't get around Reaney on that occasion. Kelso, challenged by Kamash. Now he's closed down by 3 United defenders. So the throw by Billy Wilkinson. Well, the first corner, is it conceded? It has been by Craig Mason. So the corner goes to Brisbane City, just on 10 minutes gone first half. So it's Joe Palinkas to take the corner. Dando positioned himself on the far post. Headed out. Oh, Ratcliffe very nearly got a touch to that. So Arno Batonia comes forward. Howard Tredenick. Jones. So goal kick to Brisbane City. And so a beautiful sunny day here in Newcastle. The breeze coming across the ground towards the grandstand, as you can see from that flag in the background. And the ground absolutely bathed in sunshine. Apart from the shadow from this huge stand here at the International Sports Centre. And as the game goes on, you'll see that creep right across the ground. Sitkowski. Played on for Kamash. Curling ball for Martin Coe, and corner conceded by Brisbane City. And it's to be taken by David Kamash.
Away, Larry!
Larry Gaffney clearing it away for Joe Palinkas. Played forward again. And goal kick to Brisbane City. On by Kelso. Turned back by Drinkwater. Quick throw by Dando. To the left back, Howard Tredenick. On for Stamp. Great skill again, Alf Stamp. Took on the defender, Caldwell. But his cross into the side netting. Tredenick. And so the foul by Barry Kelso allows the free kick to go to Newcastle United. And it's to be taken by the youngster Howard Tredenick. Came into the team for the injured Cole Curran and has played some outstanding games for KB since then. Jones. Mason. Lost possession in midfield. That's forced Drinkwater to come across field. Playing it down the line for Mountford. The linesman's flag is up, offside on Bob Mountford. And the linesman was very slow in getting the flag up. Now he's explaining himself to the players out on the field who challenged that decision, and so too did that crowd. So with the clearance, the yellow shirts push forward for KB Raiders. Mountford goes up, beaten in the air by Dunn. Sitkowski gave the ball away in midfield, but Kamash came back. And in fact, has earned the throw. Sitkowski. Hamilton. Good work by Kamash, but goal kick to Brisbane City. Well, Dano Batonia concedes the free kick. And it's to be taken by the number 17, Billy Wilkinson. Long driving ball to the edge of that penalty area. Kelso tried to get in there for his share of the spoils. Back for Dunn. Dunn knocking it square for Ratcliffe. Palinkas. Good work by Tredenick. But the throw goes Brisbane's way. Dunn. Palinkas. Played forward by Sitkowski. Alf Stamp. Good tackle that time by Caldwell. Dunn. Down the line to Palinkas. Square for Gaffney, but intercepted by Mason. Now Jones for Kamash, heading it back for Sitkowski. Well, that really was ill-advised. It's put Brini under pressure, but he shows his real composure. Sitkowski. Bertonia. Out on the right for Reedy. Sitkowski couldn't get a touch to that. Pimblett pushes forward from midfield. Number 14 is Bobby Hamilton. Hamilton took on Drinkwater. Shot. Well, Newcastle's defence were turned inside out on that occasion. Let's look at it again. It was the number 14, Bobby Hamilton. He just turned Drinkwater inside out. Finally got the left foot shot in, but fortunately for the KB Raiders, it wasn't on target. Bertonia. Tredenick. Not a good ball. 17 was Billy Wilkinson. Up went Barry Kelso. Frank Pimblett, the number 8. Interception by Tredenick. That's Sitkowski. Lost possession again in midfield. And so a promising KB move breaks down once again. Frank Pimblett. Sitkowski won back possession. Mountford with the shot. Well, if we look at that in replay, I don't know whether our cameras picked it up. But when Mountford received possession, Sitkowski had made the run. But Mountford opted to take the shot himself. All he did was manage to find Martin Coe, and there was Joe Sitkowski hovering inside that penalty area. Wilkinson. Gaffney. 15 is Paul Wilkinson. Joe Palinkas. Drinkwater. Ratcliffe. Drinkwater, clearing it away. Gaffney. Jones wins back possession for the KB Raiders. Played forward for Mountford. Newcastle lose possession again. Kelso. Pimblett. Palinkas. Down the line. And the corner conceded by Howard Tredenick. So Palinkas takes the corner. Back for Dunn. Mason, one of the few touches he's had in midfield today. We've seen the long ball most of the day from Newcastle United, from defence to the forward line. This is a better build-up. Kamash. Well, that's the finishing. And now Brisbane with a chance to attack through the number 15, Paul Wilkinson. Closed down by Drinkwater. Played forward for Kelso, but offside. And quite obviously, Barry Kelso does not agree with the linesman on the far side. Mountford. Sitkowski. Reaney. Kamash. Reaney. Sitkowski. Played on for Mountford. Cleared away by the Brisbane defence. Now Sitkowski. Took on his defender. Sitkowski, they call for the handball. Batonia. Sitkowski again. That's a better build-up by the KB Raiders. Curving ball, well taken by Martin Coe. Well, the KB players called for a handball then in that build-up to that impressive display by KB on that occasion. But referee Tony Boskovic wasn't at all interested. And so we're into the final 2 minutes of this scoreless first half so far. Alf Stamp, can anyone break the deadlock before the first 45 minutes are up? Batonia's come forward in an effort to do just that. Played out for Jones. Well, that's not on target. And the goal kick will go to Brisbane City. Batonia. Mountford. Mason. On for Kamash. Kamash to the byline. That's a corner. So as Alan Vest looks at his watch, exactly 1 minute remaining in the first half. Martin Coe takes the ball as he's challenged that time by Craig Mason. So we're into the final minute of play. Jimmy Dunn. And so far it has been a scoreless first half. Both sides have created chances but failed to convert them. Kelso. Larry Gaffney. Pimblett. Palinkas. Batonia. Cleared away by Mason. Up went Mountford. Pressure on Ratcliffe. Dunn's back there to control the situation. So by my watch, the 45 minutes up in this first half. Barry Kelso. Free kick given outside the penalty area. So far, referee Tony Boskovic has played 20 seconds of extra time in this first half. So it's Frank Pimblett to take the free kick, possibly the last of this first half. Now it's going to be the number 14, Bobby Hamilton, out there with him. Pimblett. Ratcliffe heads it home. So in the dying stages of the first half, the first goal is scored by David Ratcliffe. Let's look at the build-up. Deliberate build-up by Brisbane City from the free kick. Pimblett was the man that knocked it towards the far stick, and David Ratcliffe got up to head it home. And so the scoreline, the deadlock has been broken after 46 minutes of the first half. Brisbane 1, KB Raiders 0, as the referee, Tony Boskovic, blows full time, half-time. The players leave the field. The man with a smile on his face is that man in picture, David Ratcliffe. The half-time scoreline, Brisbane City 1, KB Raiders 0. We'll be back with more action right after this commercial break. So the playback underway in the second half. Newcastle reeling from that last-minute goal by Brisbane City. They trail by 1-0. And now will attack the goal to our right. Sinkowski immediately into play, but Ratcliffe, the goal scorer, clearing the ball away. Howard Tredenick retreating. Jones. Stamp. Oh, just off target. Brilliant bit of play by David Jones. He came down that left-hand flank. A perfect cross. And Al Stamp, first time with the left foot, just putting his shot wide of that near upright. Pimblett, Sinkowski, Ratcliffe driving it forward for Brisbane. Wilkinson, the number 15. Sinkowski. Jones. Stamp. Tredenick. Dunn. Back for Martin Cove. Sinkowski, who really has involved himself in the opening 2 minutes of the second half. Mountford. Stamp. Oh, straight to the feet of the number 14, Bobby Hamilton. Kamash. Kamash into the penalty area, but no finishing again, that time by the Newcastle forward line. And the look of frustration on the face of David Kamash. Drink water. Sinkowski. And so the free kick to Newcastle United. Played on for Stamp. So the goal kick goes to Brisbane City. Kelso. Shrugged off Joe Sinkowski. An attack down that left-hand flank. Perfect cross comes in. Tipped over the top by Phil Dando. Well, Barry Kelso Joe Sitkowski off well back downfield. He went straight down that left-hand flank. When he got into position, a perfect left foot cross came in. And there was the number 15, Paul Wilkinson, with the header. And Dando just tipping it over the top and saving the day for the KB Raiders. So corner taken by Joe Palinkas. Headed away by Batonia. Palinkas. Jones. Caldwell. Mason. Forward came Batonia. Out on the right is Kamash. Took on the defender, Billy Wilkinson. And the foul by Wilkinson on Kamash sees the free kick go to the Newcastle KB Raiders. So the set play situation from the free kick with Joe Sitkowski. Mountford cleared away by Kelso. Back for Kamash. Knocked forward again. Mountford headed it square. Palinkas, Ratcliffe, and that's against David Jones. Drinkwater telling Jones to come back and not to argue with the referee. Kelso, first time on for for Wilkinson, but finally turned back by Arno Batonia. So as the shadows lengthen across the International Sports Centre, with 6 minutes of play gone in the second half, the Raiders trail by 1-0. Oh, that's a bad ball by Mountford. Batonia recovered well, putting pressure on Sitkowski. Tredenick playing it forward. Dunn knocks it down to the feet of Pimblett. And now they try to create again from midfield. The 1-2 play between Wilkinson and Pimblett. And that's Caldwell overlapping from the right back position. So the throw will go to Newcastle United. Mason. Reaney. Mountford. Reaney. Batonia. Gave the ball away again. Through Hamilton, now Wilkinson. Kelso, the big tall striker from Brisbane City, took on Mountford, and Drinkwater forced to concede a corner. Palinkas, Drinkwater, Sitkowski. Kamash couldn't recover in time. Hamilton, Kevin Caldwell, the number 11, driving the ball forward. Wilkinson, Joe Palinkas. Hamilton, Wilkinson, well taken by Dando. Mountford. Reaney. Batonia. Drinkwater. Tredenick. Jones took on his defender. First time square again. Mountford. Sitkowski not on target. Martin Coe. Pimblett. Palinkas. Hamilton. Laid out for Palinkas on the right. Dando hits the woodwork. Kelso drives it home, and that's goal number 2 to Brisbane City. Phil Dando. The man under pressure was Palinkas that went down the right. He chipped the ball towards the far post. It was the retreating Dando that was under pressure. The ball rebounded off the woodwork, and look at the power of Barry Kelso. Slots it away for number 2, and Brisbane City lead by 2-0. A particular incident, Phil Dando, in fact, must have split his head open on that far post and is receiving attention from trainer Frank Campbell. Phil Dando leaves the field. His replacement is the number 20, and he'll make his PSL debut today. Clint Gosling will go in goals for the KB Raiders. Batonia. So the Raiders really with the job ahead of them now. With 15 minutes of play gone in the second half. 30 minutes left to pull back the 2 goals to at least salvage a point. Martin Coe flicks it down with one hand. Tredenik's shot, not on target. Well, that's worth having a look at again. The ball came in from the right, a curling ball. Coe advanced off his line, appeared very casual. The way he knocked it down just one-handed. And Howard Tredenik pounced on the rolling ball, but his shot wasn't on target. Mason, Mountford, turned on Ratcliffe, fed Sitkowski in midfield, he comes forward, played on for Mason, in the penalty area, onto the far post for Mountford. Ratcliffe was in there, and so too was Pimblett. That forces Reedy to retreat. And the foul by the number 15, Paul Wilkinson. Mason quickly chipped it on for Reaney. Cleared away by Kevin Corwell. Wilkinson. Look to the right for Palinkas. Palinkas takes on Drinkwater, and Roy Drinkwater concedes the throw. Very nearly a corner for the Brisbane side, and it's Joe Palinkas across to take the throw from right down to that byline. Frank Pimblett. And that was Sitkowski. Howard Tredenik. David Jones. Dunn. Well, the sign there reads Roy's Raiders, but they certainly have not raided this afternoon. In fact, they are trailing by 2-0. Drinkwater forward. Mason. Turning it back for Batonia. On his right is Reaney. The number 15 is Paul Wilkinson. Mountford. And a bad mistake. Back came Reaney, and he's forced to turn it back. First touch for goalkeeper Clint Gosling. Gosling on the field in place of the injured Phil Dando. His head collided with the far post when Brisbane scored their second goal. And that came 10 minutes into the second half. We've now been playing 18 minutes. Alf Stamp given space on the left-hand side. Got into that penalty area. Newcastle a little bit unfortunate. They did not pull one back on that occasion. And now Brisbane clearing it away. Batonia. And cleared away finally by Corwell. Well, that's probably worth having a look at again in a moment for that skill of Alf Stamp. But at this stage, Kelso comes forward. Reedy came back. And Clint Gosling in goals for Newcastle United. As we can see, go back there, we see the skill of Alf Stamp going along that byline. He slipped the ball through the Brisbane defence, but finally was cleared away from the line. But certainly real skill by Alf Stamp. Stamp back in the picture again, heading it forward. Pimblett. Gaffney. Got his cross in. Headed on by Wilkinson. And down low was Gosling. Corwell concedes the free kick. Quickly taken out for Jones on the left. Mountford's gone to the far stick. Bobby Mountford heading it square. Cleared away again by Pimblett. Mountford and Mason collide in the penalty area and Brisbane clear it away. Wilkinson. Senkowski. Kamash on the right. Well taken by Martin Coe. And in the process fouled by Bob Mountford. Well, the captain David Ratcliffe consoling Larry Gaffney, who really didn't take it too kindly the way that Bob Mountford challenged the goalkeeper. Mason. Palinkas did well. Palinkas takes on the goalkeeper, hits it square. Palinkas, still activity. Cleared away. And it was Hamilton that called for the handball. The referee Boskovic awards the free kick for dissent, and Bobby Hamilton forced to retreat. The injured Cole Curran, the former Socceroo, is out of action for at least another 8 to 10 weeks with a very badly torn groin. Stamp, beaten in the air, but Tonya won it back. Senkowski gave it away. Hamilton. Kelso. Reaney won it back for the Raiders. Now Senkowski in midfield. Given plenty of space to come forward for Kamash, right-hand side. There's the cross. Oh, and a solid challenge. Cleared off the line by Dunn. Bob Mountford came in there very strongly indeed. Coe went up and in fact lost possession. The ball rolled back and there was Dunn clearing it off the line. So Martin Coe has felt the brunt of 2 challenges from Bob Mountford. Coach George Potter obviously elated at the 2-0 scoreline and really thinks the trip south is worthwhile. Tredenick. Senkowski. Reaney. Batonia. Mason, the number 12. On for Drinkwater. Mountford. Came back inside Palinkas. Mountford with a shot. Parried by goalkeeper Coe. And finally brings it under control. Reaney. Hamilton. Kelso, the number 12. Ratcliffe. Drinkwater comes across. Throw to Brisbane City. Reedy. Batonia. Mason. Chipped on for Sitkowski. Lost possession through Ratcliffe, and now Hamilton. So now the blue shirts come forward, up towards that halfway line. Pimblett links in from midfield. Hamilton forward on the left. Batonia clearing it back upfield. Jones heads it on. Caldwell turning it back. Kevin Caldwell will have visions of the International Sports Centre and memories, because it was a great effort here back in 1978 when Brisbane City played with most of the second half with 9 men after Kevin Caldwell and Zoro Iazeli were sent from the field, and they defeated Newcastle by 3-2 on that occasion. They have a 2-0 lead at the moment and are not in any hurry to surrender that lead. Hayes. Second half substitution. Loses the ball but earns the throw. Stamp. Sitkowski. Reedy. Caldwell. Wilkinson. Now Hamilton. Stamp. Ooh, really put pressure on Coe that time. Pretty adventurous sort of turn back that time for goalkeeper Coe. Gaffney. Pimblett. Hamilton. Oh, there's a handball there that went undetected as well. Mountford. Jones. Tredenick. Jones. And again it was Coe on the near post. Drinkwater. Sitkowski. Pimblett back in possession for Brisbane. Kelso. Frank Pimblett. Wilkinson. Kelso. And finally over the line through Sitkowski. Joe Palinkas. Frank Pimblett. Chipped on for Kelso. Nodded down straight to goalkeeper Gosling. So we're into the final 10 minutes. Newcastle trail by 2. Hayes. Substitute for David Kamash. On for Stamp. Knock square for Hayes. Hayes brought down, but the referee plays on. Drinkwater. Long ball forward for Mountford. Managed to get to Dunn. the defender for Brisbane. Drinkwater, Jason Kalski. Well, the ball given straight back to Brisbane City again, and now Palinkas. A run being made on the right by Pimblett. Palinkas looking around for his support. Now attempts the shot himself, and really should have done better on that occasion with the support of Wilkinson and also Frank Pimblett. Tredenick. Barry Kelso. So a substitution being made. Barry Kelso coming off, and the replacement player is Willie Connor, the number 9. So a great effort by big Barry Kelso. He gets the pat on the head. Scored the goal that really sealed the match for the Brisbane City Gladiators. Sikowski, Mountford, Sikowski, Reaney, Hayes. Willie Connor immediately into the action as Corwell comes across to clear the ball over that far sideline. Throw for Jones, intercepted by the number 6 Gaffney. 14 is Hamilton. Gaffney. Cleared away by Hamilton. Reaney. Batonia. Palinkas won the possession. Joe Palinkas coming forward. Back came Tredenick. Palinkas knocks it back. Hamilton, oh, really should have done better. Wilkinson was, in fact. Let's watch that again. Joe Palinkas coming in towards that penalty area. He was under pressure from Howard Tredenick, but he managed to come back in field, knocked it square, and there was the number 15, Paul Wilkinson, with only the goalkeeper to beat, and he put it straight over the top. We're into the final minute of play. Can Brisbane make it 3? Willie Connor, the substitute. His shot is wide of the far post, and it goes for the goal kick to the KB Raiders. So as we look to the full-time whistle, the goal scorers, firstly David Ratcliffe, in the 45th minute of the first half, put them ahead right before the half-time break. That's him in picture. And then just 10 minutes into the second half, the big striker, Barry Kelso, who is now on the bench, made it goal number 2 and gave Brisbane City a commanding lead. Mason, his shot is well off target. And that's been the story of the KB Raiders all afternoon. Well, I make the 45 minutes up in the second half. Tony Boskovic, with only the formalities of blowing the full-time whistle. And Brisbane City will go back with 2 vital points on the table. Ratcliffe. Palinkas. Pimblett. And Drinkwater forced to concede the corner. So this could well be the last corner of this match. And it's been a disappointment for the 4,500 home supporters here of the KB Raiders. Referee Boskovic has played just over a minute of extra time in the second half. And remembering, it was about this position in the first half that Brisbane scored their first goal. But they won't do it in the second 45 minutes because the referee has blown full time with the final scoreline. The Newcastle KB Raiders have been defeated by the Brisbane City Gladiators by 2-0, and coach George Potter will go back to Brisbane, a very happy man with a very, very good result, and a well-deserved result. Final scoreline, Brisbane 2, the KB Raiders 0. And while it's all smiles in the Brisbane City outfit, certainly a very vital drop of 2 points for the Newcastle KB Raiders, and a very disappointing debut game as far as Alf Stamp's concerned. Alf, it's probably a game that you look back on. The result probably wasn't what you expected today.
No, I was very disappointed with the result. I would like to have gone out with 2 points today, but that was the way it went.
Alf, how did you find the difference in standard? You've been playing with the youth side during the year, to the pace of Phillips League.
Well, they give you a lot more time, I think, in midfield and at the back, but up front there's no time at all. It all happens very quickly.
So there's far more pressure on you playing up front?
Undoubtedly, yeah.
Alf, you played with New Zealand before you joined the KB side this year. What are your impressions of Phillips League football?
I think Phillips League is far higher than the New Zealand standard, and I think if they reach the World Cup, things will go a lot higher.
Did yesterday's result in New Zealand surprise you?
I thought a draw was a fair result. I think New Zealand would have hoped for a win, obviously, but I think in the end they'll be happy with it. Well,
getting back to Newcastle KB Raiders' challenge to this year's title, I mentioned it's a vital drop of 2 points, particularly when you consider the hard games that are coming up for the Raiders in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I think in this league every game's a hard game, but I don't think the teams we play against matter that much. That every game we find difficult, and I don't think who we're playing makes any difference these days.
Alf, one of the main things that has kept Newcastle United up towards the top of the ladder in the early part of the season was the very fine defensive unit. They seem to have dropped their bundle a little bit in recent games. You went to Adelaide last week. What was the problem down there?
Well, I wasn't at Adelaide myself, but we've lost Cole Curran and there's a few other changes been made, and I think it'll take the players a wee while to knit together again. But I'm sure they'll come back. They're a good bunch of lads and they'll make it. There's
been players playing under injury clouds. Has that affected the morale of the team, knowing that some players aren't 100% fit?
No, I think every player goes out there to give 100%, and they give a wee bit more if they've got an injury. I think each game's difficult, and you've just got to play the way it is.
Having been involved with the youth team, can you see some depth and talent in that youth side that will come on in weeks to come as Phillips League contenders?
The youth team is a good side, although a lot of them still need a bit of strength, I think. There is a lot of good potential there, but as for the next couple of weeks, I don't know if there's that depth there. Certainly next year they'll be a good bonus for the club.
OK, well, I know it's a game, as I mentioned, you'd rather forget the result, but thanks for speaking to us on Action Replay this weekend.
Thank you.
OK, thoughts after the match of Alf Stamp of the Newcastle KB Raiders, repeating the scoreline that Brisbane City have gathered the 2 points with a 2-0 result over Newcastle KB Raiders. Well, that virtually wraps up our telecast from the International Sports Centre. More sporting action coming your way on Action Replay next week at 12 o'clock. We hope you can join us then. In the meantime, goodbye from David Fordham from Newcastle's International Sports Centre.
The big league action comes to NBN tonight and tomorrow night. Be with us at 10:15 tonight for the Newcastle Star Rugby League encounter between Lakes and Cessnock. And tomorrow night, join us at 10:20 for Parramatta and St George in the Sydney Big League. All the football action on NBN.